Great, we're ready to start. What I'm just going to take you through today is just some of the basic menu items in Easy In Keeping. So we're just going to start from the first menu, which is the File menu. And we have some little tools under there. Calculator, that's just a little tool if the hotel or someone at the front desk needs to run a calculation. You know, they don't have to leave Easy In Keeping to do that. You can just pull it up. And then the same thing if they want a quick reference to a calendar. They can pull up a calendar from that menu also. Import guest. This is something that would be used only when a new client is starting to use Easy In Keeping. It gives them the option that if they have a guest list, which is already in Excel, or maybe it's in another database, if they can convert that list to Excel format, we give an option where they can actually upload that file into Easy In Keeping so that they can pull all those guest names, address, phone number, email into Easy In Keeping. And so there is a sample file that we give them because there is a certain format that needs to be followed in order for this import to work. So if you pull up the sample file, it's just giving you the format. So whatever guest list they have, they need to modify it so that it appears like this. First name, last name, address 1, address 2, city, state, province, zip, home phone, work phone, fax, email. Okay, at least these first few columns should be matching. And if some of the columns are blank, that's okay. They can just leave them blank. So whatever guest list they have, if they can make it line up with this format and then save it, then they can come back to Easy In Keeping and go here to where it says Upload File, and that Excel list, that wherever they've created it, they can go and select it and then click on Import. And what that would do is basically add all that information to the guest list in Easy In Keeping. So a lot of clients will ask us to do the data import, but once in a while we may get some clients who are very comfortable with Excel, or maybe they have their own IT person. So if they want to use this tool, it's there for them. Then the next tool under the File menu is Backup. And this is something that the hotel can use on a daily basis. Our Easy In Keeping software is a subscription-based software, so it's always running from the internet connection. So if a hotel just wants an extra insurance, let's say there's a storm on the way, they know they might lose power, they might lose internet. If they want to be able to have a copy of their Easy In Keeping information, they can use this backup. So it says here, do you want to run backup process for next 50 days? We'll click on OK. And what it does, it creates a calendar in an Excel format. So you have the option to either open that file or save it. Let's open it first and look at it. And what it exports here, you'll see it has all the room names from their Easy In Keeping calendar. It has all the dates, and it's set for 250 days, so it's about 9 months worth of reservations. And so whatever bookings are in there for the next 250 days would show up in this grid. So they at least have their basic reservation information. They're not going to have all the details, but at least they'll have the name of the people, their contact information. So at least they're able to check us in, check them out until they get their power, their internet restored. And so once they've created this, they can save it anywhere on their own computer. And then they can just name the file. And save it. So that's just a good thing to know. That's one thing, especially new clients ask us, is whether there's any way to back up information on their own computer. And this is what they would do. The other tool on the file menu is called the Message Center. This is actually an internal little email program. So anyone who has a login to Easy Innkeeping can use this. And so it works very similar to a lot of other email programs. You can compose an email. The only limitation is that you can only send emails or messages back and forth to other staff that have a login on Easy Innkeeping. So if you have a front desk person who is logging off for the day and they want to send a note to someone else, you can just go ahead and create a message and send it. And then when Maria logs into her Easy Innkeeping, she can check her inbox and she'll see any messages that have been sent to her. And then it also does save the sent messages. So it's a very simple message program, but it can be useful just for communicating between the staff. And of course, here's the logout link. So that just covers some of the tools on the file menu. And then the other thing I'm just going to run over real quick is the icons that run across the top of the screen. The home button simply brings you to a panel of different screens and categories in Easy Innkeeping. And so it's just another way. Some people prefer to get around the software through icons. But the same items are available on the menu at the top as well. The guest icon, this is something, it's just a quick way to open up a guest information screen. So this would be used if you're adding in a brand new guest. And you can enter as much or as little information as you like on here. The first screen always provides you with all the fields for entering their contact information, name, address, email, phone. If your property or hotel likes to track additional information about your guests, there is an option to do that. That's on the next screen. Anniversary dates, birth dates. Some hotels like to send out coupons or specials when guests have a birthday or anniversary. And then there's even one more screen that can be customized. So if the hotel has special rewards programs, or if they track other details about their guests, some of our spa properties like to record details about their guest diet or the programs that they use. And they can customize the screen to store additional information. The Find Guests button simply brings you to the guest list and search screen. So this is the area where you can run searches on different guests. And there's a lot of different ways to search for guests. By last name, by first name, by the city they live in. Maybe sometimes you have the email address of someone who maybe sent you an email, but they didn't list their full name. Maybe they just signed it John. You can look it up by email, phone number, or even company name. The nice thing with this search is that you don't have to type in the entire word to pull up results. So let's just try and do a search for the name John. And you'll see that every name that includes J-O-N is going to pull up in the search. So that's kind of nice because sometimes there's different spelling for names. And so this way you don't have to get the exact spelling and able to pull up the result. If you just at least enter the first few letters, even if we do J-O, it'll probably give us a bigger list. But that way it's easier to search for different spellings of names and so forth. And it will search for only one name at a time. So first name means it'll only search everything that matches the first name. Then last name. It'll pull up only according to the last name. The other nice thing about the search, if we go back to searching for John here, first name John. The other nice thing about these search screens is once you've created your list, if you're still trying to sort it or to find something, if you had a really long list, you can sort it by clicking at the top of these columns. So if I click on city, it reorders it according to city name. Or if I click on email ID, it'll reorder it alphabetically by the email address. So this is a feature that's built into most of the lists in Easy Innkeeping. It's really nice. Helps you kind of sort through and view your information. Thank you. Okay, so that covers the guest screen and the Find Guest list. Okay, then the next thing here is reservation. This will open up a brand new reservation. Okay, we're going to continue just going through the icons across the top. So the next one is reservation, and if you click on that, it's just going to open up a brand new reservation screen, which you could go ahead and fill in for a new reservation. And it will always by default pull up today's date as arrival date. If you want to update the number of nights, you can type that in. Number of guests. And then if this is a guest who has stayed at the property before, you can use the little search button here. Anytime you see this little magnifying glass, it means that there's an option to search a list. So we're going to go ahead and search. Let's see if there's a Susan who stayed here before. Okay. And she has stayed here before, so we're going to click on her name. It's going to automatically put her name in. There's no address stored, so we can go ahead and add that. And then the next thing we would do is assign her a room. So we'll assign her cabin 2. And Susan is just coming on her own, so we don't need to fill any of these fields. These fields refer to guests who may be part of a group. If they're part of a group, they would have a group code. If they're coming under a company paid, where their company is paying for the stay because they're there on business, they would use direct billing. If a travel agent booked this, they would be assigned an agent code. But Susan, she's just coming on her own, just coming to stay a few nights, so we don't need to fill any of that information. Next, if we want to confirm her reservation, we can do so with a credit card number. And you have the option to either just hold the number and save it, or if you want to actually process a deposit amount, which some hotels they do that, you could actually process a payment right here. For now, we're just going to save this, and it's going to show up at the top what she's being charged per night, the total for the reservation, any taxes due, and then the total including taxes, the post-tax total. So now we're ready to save this reservation. And that's all that's required to book anything in Easy Innkeeping. The name, the room, payment information. So that's all that's required. So we'll save and close this. And now that we've booked her, it's going to add it to our calendar screen. So the next icon is actually our daily calendar, which we're already looking at. Once we save the reservation, it automatically took us here. So on the calendar screen, all of the calendar screens have the same basic information, just displayed in a little different way. So on the left-hand side, we have the room name, and it will show all of the rooms available on the property. And then across the top, it's always going to show you what day you're on. So the daily calendar will show only a single date at a time, and it's showing the current date, May 20th. If I want to look ahead at next week, I can use these little buttons at the top to move back and forth in my calendar. So if I want to look at next Monday, I can click on this little 7 button, and now I'm switched to May 27th. If I want to look at the next month, I can click on the 30 button, and it's going to take me to June 27th. So this is an easy way to just scroll back and forth through your dates. On the other side of this calendar screens, we have other ways to search dates. So sometimes you may get someone who's wanting to book something for Christmas, In that case, you might find it tedious to click the 30 button 6 times. So if you need to go to a specific date, you can use this little calendar, and we can find December. Click on December 25th and click Go, and it takes me directly to December 25th on the calendar. So it's just a couple different ways of getting back and forth in the calendar. And let's go back to today. And take a quick look at the bookings. We just have one booking entered in for today for Susan Snell. And it's going to show us her name, and then the number that displays is actually her reservation number or confirmation number. It's a lot of times what people call it. And it shows what day she's checking in and what day she's checking out. If you click on her name, it will open up all of her details that have already been entered. And if you close the form, it brings you back to the calendar. Now if we go to the weekly calendar, you pretty much have all the same functionality. It's just that it's showing you more days at a time. So it's showing you an entire week starting from Sunday through Saturday. But it's the same format, room names down the side, and then any bookings will show up on the calendar. The other thing which is easier to see from this weekly view is we do have color coding, which a lot of hotels like to use. And this just helps you to see visually what is happening with the reservation. So right now, since we just took the booking, it's showing that Susan's booking is unconfirmed. It's showing up in red. But maybe she called back and gave us her payment information, and we can change that to show that she's now confirmed booking. Once we change the status, it changes the color. And then once she actually comes and checks in, we can change the status again. So it's just a little tool that helps them easily see what's happening with their reservations. Then the monthly calendar. Again, it's pretty much a repeat of the other ones, just that it's showing 30 days at a time. So that pretty much finishes all the icons that have to do with guests and reservations. And we'll probably come back another time and review these other sections that get into reporting sales